Is Scott Bakula about to appear in Strange New Worlds?
We're on our way.
Welcome to Sidetrack, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. This has been rumoured for a couple of years now, actually, that Scott Bakula would return to Star Trek as Captain Jonathan Archer, or Admiral Jonathan Archer, Rear Admiral Jonathan Archer, retired Admiral John. I don't really care, but he would be back in Star Trek in some form. When Strange New Worlds was actually announced over 3 years ago now, it was rumoured very quickly that Scott Bakula would be willing to make a return. Now, that seemed a little unlikely because where the time frame is set for Strange New Worlds, Scott Bakula would have to be about 130 or something. And actually, his character in canon is supposed to have died around 15 years before. But I argued in a previous video, or I discussed this, that actually that doesn't mean they couldn't have some sort of flashback episode. Maybe we see a slightly younger Pike 15 years before in a flashback meeting Archer, in the last couple of years of his life. There's no reason why that couldn't happen. Now, obviously, they could also just do some sort of time travel thing. At the end of the day, there was a whole storyline in Enterprise about Scott Bakula's Jonathan Archer jumping through time. So maybe he just jumps through time onto the Enterprise. There's no reason why not. And to be honest, Strange New Worlds, even though it's been brilliantly executed, let's not kid ourselves that it's all that bothered about canon, really, or all that bothered about doing crazy storylines that make very little sense to do a musical or something else. At the end of the day, they do try to throw in a bit of science here and there to make it still science fiction, but they're not that bothered. If they were that bothered, there were several episodes that wouldn't have happened in the last season in particular.
You know what I mean? Make them scream!
So, what am I hearing? Why am I suspecting that this might actually about to happen? Well, I've spoken to a couple of sources that are reasonably close, and they've said, look, even though there were a lot of rumors that Strange New Worlds Season 3 might not even happen, because there are executives over at Paramount that actually do want to pull a full reset on Star Trek. They want to pull back from what's being done at the moment. And I am talking in other videos about how Paramount might actually be up for sale in the next 12 months. And there is certain preparation work being done towards that goal. Now, those decisions are business decisions. And even though they don't seem to have been made yet, because they do seem very dependent on sort of restructuring some finance in the next few years, and, well, really, the stockholders need to make a decision as well, it does mean that there's certain things with Star Trek and other big Paramount projects that might be up in the air a little bit over the next few years. There are also a lot of executives at Paramount that don't like what Alex Kurtzman has done with certain elements of Star Trek, and they would like it to change. Now, a lot of those changes are happening. We've already seen a bit of a Kurtzman reset with a lot of Star Trek. We've seen Star Trek return back to something that we recognize as Trekkies as Star Trek. We haven't had any more of the horrific cock-ups that happened in Discovery Season 1 that really turned a lot of Star Trek fans off. So, there is a lot of uncertainty regarding Star Trek moving forward, but what we are sure of is that the negative side of executives over at Paramount didn't win the argument, and Star Trek Season 3 of Strange New Worlds has started production. They will be filming in the next few days, and we will get that series on our screens before we know it. So why do I think Jonathan Archer might actually appear? Well, speaking to one of my sources, over at Secret Hideout, they have been absolutely desperate to do the next big crossover. The viewing figures for Strange New Worlds were, on the whole, quite disappointing. They really did think after Picard Season 3 that the viewing figures would have kicked on and that they'd have got on, for example, the Nielsen list, which is the overall top 10 of streaming shows each week. they thought they would get on that more often than they did. I think Strange New Worlds got on it maybe twice. Basically, they saw big bumps around the Lower Decks crossover episode, and then again with the musical. Now, I've actually said to you a few times before, a lot of the musical stuff was simply because people were talking about it. So they watched it just to see really if they were going to hate it as much as I did, or if they were going to love it as much as I know a lot of Star Trek fans did. So there was a big spike. I was fascinated to watch it, even though I was not looking forward to it. So executives and people like Goldsman over at Star Trek are already looking for that next big crossover, that next big thing that will get tongues wagging. And one of the things that I'm being told they are desperately trying to do, and they have a script for, but apparently Scott Bakula hasn't actually agreed to, is for Jonathan Archer to appear in season 3 of Strange New Worlds. Now, filming's already started. So why do I say Scott Bakula may not have actually agreed to this? I have to admit, I have 3 different sources that tell me these bits of information. One has said that the script was written, but Scott Bakula refused to do it and pulled out. One said that the script was written, Scott Bakula agreed, and he's actually filming in the next 8 weeks. And that episode will be around the 4th or 5th episode of the season. I've got a third source that's basically said the script was written, Scott Bakula was up for it, but they couldn't agree on money, so it didn't get agreed, and he won't be doing it. What do I think is going on? I think Scott Bakula is going to appear in Star Trek Strange New Worlds, but I think they're trying to throw people like Sidetrack off the track. I think they're possibly spreading a few different rumors to see which one floats and just to confuse us YouTubers and us fans as much as possible. I think we'll probably hear a few more rumors about this, and we'll see something maybe even more definite in the run-up to the actual series being released. Could they get Scott Bakula into film an episode and it be a secret? Yeah, they could. To be honest, they kept the musical secret, and they kept a few of the other things from Strange New Worlds Season 2 a secret until only a few weeks before they were released. At the end of the day, it's relatively easy to keep something a secret if it's filmed on a sound stage. It's much harder if you're going to record things out and about on location, because people with big cameras go and take the photos. On a soundstage, unless a crew member leaks it or somebody says something wrong in an interview, we're not going to find out. The rumors bounce around, partly to keep interest alive, but also partly because agents and things like this do talk. And to be honest, the source that I actually believe on this does work on the agent side of things. He has heard that, yes, the script was written, Scott Bakula was interested, and he will be filming an episode for Strange New Worlds Season 3. So, we can all get a little bit excited with a big pinch of salt, because we don't know for certain if this is going to happen or not. So, let's wait and see which rumor is actually true. I can't wait, because actually, I loved Enterprise. I'm one of those people that thought it was getting much, much better. And I genuinely believe if they'd have done the modifications to the Enterprise NX and put the new engine on and do the upgrade that was planned for season 6, if they'd have done that in season 5 or at the end of season 4 after the Xindi conflict, I think we'd have got 7 seasons of Enterprise. I think it just needed that little bit of excitement and a little bit of a boost to get it through. And I actually think because they delayed that upgrade to the Enterprise, that's what really killed the show. They needed something and they missed the opportunity. And another thing, Enterprise had some of the best cast of any of the Star Trek series. And I would love to see Jonathan Archer, T'Pol, Phlox, whoever else return in a crossover with Strange New Worlds. I'm just hoping that season 3 of Strange New Worlds has a little less silliness, a little less quirky episodes, no bloody singing, and a little bit more Star Trek to it. We can but hope. But guys, get into the comments and tell me what you think, because at the end of the day, what the Trekkies actually think is what's important. Would you love to see Jonathan Archer in an episode of Strange New Worlds? But more importantly as well, what do you hope we're going to get from Series 3 of Strange New Worlds? Do you know where I'm coming from when I say I want a bit more Star Trek? Or does that not make sense to you? 1, maybe 2 quirky episodes, not 3, 4. Get in the comments and tell me exactly what you think and what you hope for from Season 3 of Strange New Worlds. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out, and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can go to patreon.com/SciTrek, which is where most of our new videos premiere first, and you get to see them without the adverts. You even get a free gift after 3 months. Can't say fairer than that. Also, go to scitrek.co.uk, which is our dedicated website where we do articles based on most of our videos, and we try to add a little bit more information for you to digest. Get over and check it out. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.